Hi, Dylan and Barry. How are you?
Good, how
Good.
are
How are
you?
you?
I'm doing well, doing well. I absolutely loved like Father Like Son. It was totally not what I was expecting in like the best possible way. So
Oh,
thank
that's
you for
awesome.
making
No, no, thanks for liking it. I appreciate it.
it. Of course. So Barry, my first question is for you. I really love how this film twists the standard like father-son relationship. What inspired you to write it and make it?
Well, and this, not to sound terrible, but there was a lot of things in my father and me that I did not like, and I've worked many years to change, which is okay. He did not have that kind of recovery, and he just sort of went through life, and he never dealt with anger or anything like that. But I thought, there is a connection because he's my dad. I'm like this, and then I also thought, let's see if it could be passed down, like something as big as being a serial killer. Like I'm obviously not a serial killer. But my friend Mayim Bialik, who's in the movie, is also a neuroscientist, and she confirmed that there could be a hereditary factor involved in a serial killer becoming what they are. And with that, I did a little bit of research to see if it's ever happened. And I found a story of a father on death row and an infant at home. And when the father was put to death, the infant grows up and becomes a serial killer. I'm like, all right, that's it. This
Mm.
is my calling is really, I also had a therapist once who said, God, with his upbringing, you're saying to my husband, with his upbringing, it's amazing. He turned out as nice as he is. It could have gone really wrong. And so that stayed with me. So I wanted to explore that.
Gotcha. And questions for you again. Why did you set this in 1990?
A lot of reasons. The death penalty was a big one. I had to make sure that being put to death by injection. I was actually had a different set in a different time, and I was going for electrocution. But I digress. Um, but then I looked up when the injection what it went out in 1994 in California. So I wanted to make sure that was intact for the story, but also there was a time where it was a lot easier to be a serial killer and get away with it. I mean, Ted Bundy was living a double life. I did so much research of serial killers that were dads with families, and I'm like, get away with this because I guess we haven't gotten all the tools we have today, you know?
Mm.
And by the way, research says at any given point, there's about 50 serial killers unidentified in our country. Yay. Um, so that, that's a little scary. But so yeah, so I wanted the time period to I wanted Eli to slide in amongst the more known serial killers to represent the ones that, yeah, they're out there and they're not getting the fame, but they are certainly doing their deed.
That's really scary. I'm not gonna lie.
It's really scary. The whole thing darkened me out, to be honest. When it was over with, I was like, maybe a Christmas movie.
That sounds a lot better.
Yeah.
And Dylan, what attracted you to this film and to the role of Eli?
It sounds really weird, but I think one of my career goals was to play serial killer kind of character. I've always been really intrigued with the depth of that kind of character and the darkness that you have to kind of get into to get there. Um, Yeah, I read the script and automatically was like, who's playing Eli? I gotta figure out how can get my hat, name in the hat. And luckily Barry was so nice and opportunistic with giving me the opportunity to do it. But yeah, I think it was a career goal of mine coming in.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Um, and to be honest, I feel like you and Dermot kind of made like the perfect father-son pairing. You both kind of look alike, you act very similarly. So what was it like working with him to create this very complicated father-son dynamic?
Yeah, I kind of call Dermot my film dad. So my first ever project I ever did was a TV pilot that didn't get picked up, but he was my dad in it. So it was really like full circle kind of coming in about 5, 6 years later, we got to do the same thing. Um, but yeah, he's so great at playing these really dark, sinister characters, and he just really makes you believe that he is who he is. And um, it elevates my performance working with, a guy with that much experience and that good at acting chops. So yeah, he's just such a giving actor. It really made my life a lot easier.
That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Um, Barry, what was it like casting them and working with them?
Phenomenal. Jim Clark, one of the producers, and he's in the film. He plays Eli's horrible boss who turns into a horrible mess. Um, and he sent me, I sent him the script, and he absolutely loved it. And he said, I think I got a guy. And I was like, by the way, that's such a New York thing. I got a guy. And I said, well, send me his reel. It was over. I saw his reel. Every scene that he shows me in his reel added up to like, this is Eli. So I was so happy because that was so important. As you can see from watching the film, like the father and the son have got to be on point,
Mhm.
And then when we got Dermot, I screamed. I was a kid in a candy store. I literally screamed. I'm such a fan. I thought he was absolutely perfect. So now I had the two perfect people. I did not know they were father and son and something else, but I get it. Their chemistry and the look, like you said, and everything about them just felt father and sonish, just so I was blessed. I was really lucky, I got to work with such veterans, and it really was like Dylan was saying, a chance to step up my game because, you got to bring your A game with all these veterans.
But that's awesome. That's awesome that it was just kind of like it all fell into place like that.
Yes, yes. I couldn't have been happier. And then mine was a producer, and she's a friend. And when I asked her if she wanted to be in it, and she said yes, that floored me. I mean, our friendship is like long conversations on ice cream. I mean, this has never happened before. This is so it's new territory for the both of us to be in this scenario. But it was incredible, and she was incredible. It's one of my favorite scenes.
Nice. Um, Overall, I found this film to just be very just incredible to look at with all of the flashbacks, the overlays, the transitions between scenes was really cool too. What went into making all of these different editing choices?
Two words: Ethan Maniquis. He's the editor. He's Luke got him. God bless him for getting him. Um, Without saying anything negative, there was an editor that just wasn't working out. And so Luke said, no, I think I know what to do. And he got Ethan. Ethan saw the cut that we had, which was basically assembled, and he just wove his magic. Luke wanted it non-linear. I tried to give him non-linear with the other editor, but Ethan knocked it out of the park. And when I met Ethan, I said, I want to live inside your head for like a week and just see what goes on in there because it's phenomenal to watch. The first time I saw it, I watched it with my jaw dropped open for real. I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, it was truly his editing is an art form, just as it should be, but he's really, really brilliant at what he does. And I felt really so much gratitude for being able to work with him and Luke on this in that capacity. Because I love how it looks.
Um, I am just about out of time, but my final question for the both of you is, what do you hope people take away from watching this?
Oh, I just hope people take away the fact that, mental illness and just in general, is such a big subject that we haven't really uncovered yet, even. And I just hope that, we get to more conversations about that, to be honest.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I'm really hoping in the parental aspect that the message, without hitting people over the head, is what you do today could affect your son tomorrow, and kindness is free, so if you took, I don't think anyone's going to live in a kind, loving home and grow up to be a serial killer. I just don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't. But I do think if you do have anger yourself and you do take it out on your kids, that you're rolling the dice.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I hope people learn an important lesson.
I'm sure they will.
Oh,
Um, Great. That about wraps me up. Thank you so much for chatting. Again, I loved the film. I probably will watch it again when it comes out. So,
oh, awesome.
Appreciate that.